Welcome to TWT Talks with Tito. This is Tito Madrano back for another episode and back for you live. So I've been gone for a while. I do apologize. I did have some videos already filmed. Unfortunately, a lot happened in the last month and a half. So yeah, I filmed the SummerSlam, the post SummerSlam, the post UFC 319. I won't, I just won't post them because it's been so long. It's been over a month, if I'm being honest. But I do apologize to the people that tune into this podcast every week and listen to it. I do apologize if you were waiting for those videos, if you were expecting me to post them. Trust me, I wanted to post them. Just a lot happened over the last month and a half. And again, I do apologize, but I will start. I'm gonna be more consistent moving forward. Just life gets in the way. You guys know it. You guys are humans. You guys live your own life. You guys know how it is. Sometimes things get in the way. It's out of your control. You can only control what you can control, and that's it. But yeah. But today we're gonna talk about we're gonna talk about week 1 of football. By the way, NFL is back. It's back. I'm gonna talk. I'm not gonna get too much into it. I'm just gonna talk about. It's just week 1. I'm going to talk about the teams that won, the teams that lost. What do I think of the games? I'm going to be honest, I only saw like one highlight of one of the games or two. So I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I will. And let's talk about pro wrestling. There's a lot going on in pro wrestling right now. As you know, a lot of someone epic came back to pro wrestling, back to WWE. But before we do all that, let's talk about John Cena. He has 7 dates left before he retires. We know that he lost the belt to Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. I said this when I did the episodes of post SummerSlam. That was a passing of the torch. We know that Brock came back. John Cena had a match with Logan Paul on Clash in Paris. Really good match, by the way. Something that I also wanted to talk about, Clash in Paris, but again, it's been so long since I, done an episode that why even talk about the event. But yeah, John Cena has 7 dates left. I was fortunate enough to see him in Chicago or Rosemont. It felt really good because the thing is, we all know John Cena did his debut in Rosemont and Chicago in the Allstate Arena when he came out and Kurt Angle said, "Who dares to challenge me?" Something around that line. Who has the courage to come challenge me? And then John Cena said, "Ruthless aggression," and slapped him across the face. That was in 2002. He won that match in his debut. Fast forward years later, 2025, John Cena is 7 dates away from retiring. I'm trying to soak it all in. I know you guys are too. There's a lot. John Cena will face Brock Lesnar at WrestlePalooza. What do I think of that match? I'm really indifferent about it because honestly, I was not expecting Brock to come back, if I'm being very honest. I was not expecting Brock to come back with the whole, lawsuit and stuff like that that's going on. But apparently there's nothing on him, so that's why he's back. I don't think WWE would have taken him back if there was something like, if there was a real serious investigation with him. So John Cena having him as, that was one of his rivals. Brock was one of his rivals, and it's only fair, it's only right that he has one more match with Brock Lesnar. I don't know if it's going to be a 1 more match or a 2 more match, because I don't know who's going to go over in this match, if I'm being honest. Is Brock going to go over, or is John Cena going to go over? We don't know. WrestlePalooza, Indianapolis, for those that are going, that live here in the Midwest, in Chicago, have fun. I'm personally not going to go, because, I got other things going on. But I definitely will watch. That event, and I will talk about it in TWT Talks with Tito. I'll make sure that I will talk about it, and then I'll make sure I'll follow up with it and post that video. But yeah, John Cena's retirement tour has been so. I want to say it's been fast, but it also, at the same time, as a fan, you sit back and you try to enjoy the fact that it's almost going to be over. You know what I mean? I also met John Cena at Fan Expo. I was so nervous to even talk to him. I didn't even say anything to him. I just shook his hand, and that's about it. He's an awesome guy, standout guy, and it was great just to meet him and take a picture with him, and it was awesome. It was awesome. John Cena is really a role model. He's such a great role model to follow. You know what I mean? He's someone that people should aspire to be. Obviously, you have to be inspired to be yourself, but at the same time, John Cena is just he's an excellent human being, and seeing what he has done over the years of being in WWE, not only in WWE but outside of WWE, doing movies, seeing how creative he has become in the film industry, in the movie industry, it's awesome to see. And like I said, 7 dates. He'll be in your city. Try to get those tickets. Trust me, I did the best I could. There was times where I didn't think I was going to go to this event, but I managed to find something affordable, and I managed to have a good view to see John Cena's final appearance in Chicago, Rosemont, Illinois. Well, Chicago, Rosemont, but everybody knows it as Chicago, but isn't Rosemont. Nevertheless, just being there was awesome. Being there was awesome. I'm happy that I bought a ticket to see that event. And, it was great to see John Cena one last time. And the match that he had with Sami Zayn, incredible. Before he got interrupted by Brock Lesnar. But it was just great. It was a great surreal. Just when the moment his music hit and he came out and you saw everybody, cheering him, it was great. Remember John Cena saying that, it's crazy because John Cena would always get booed in Chicago, especially when he had the match against CM Punk at Money in the Bank 2011. I wasn't living in Chicago at the suburbs in Chicago at the time, but seeing that the following Raw, and I'm like, wow, like Chicago is arguably me being from California, I have to admit this. Well, I know this for a fact. Chicago wrestling fans are arguably the best wrestling fans in the world. I don't care what you say, what you think. If you haven't been in an event in Chicago regarding pro wrestling, you have no idea how loud and how passionate Chicago fans are when it comes to pro wrestling. Chicago is known for the wrestling city in some way. But just a standing ovation that John Cena got. And then for a moment, we thought he was going to actually win the United States title against Sami Zayn. But John Cena, man, like I said, enjoy the last 7 dates that he has before his retirement. I know I am. And I'm probably going to get that John Cena Chicago merch. Because, I was there. I might as well just get it. Just not right now, but thinking about getting that merch soon. If he's coming to your city, you might as well get that ticket. That's all I gotta say. Moving on to the other surprise that showed up. Nowadays, wrestling, the internet, and when it comes to the internet and wrestling, it's so hard to keep a secret. It's not like back in the day. We know CM Punk and Seth Rollins have this feud going on for a while. Seth screwed CM Punk from the world title. And he did it again in Clash of the Champions. Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed got banded out of the match. Paul Heyman got choked out by Roman Reigns. But Seth Rollins had a plan B. This is something that I also got to talk about the post-Clash of the Champion. He had something under the rug, and that is something under the rug was his awesome, beautiful wife, and one of the best female wrestlers to ever do it, Becky Lynch, helps Seth Rollins screw CM Punk. But CM Punk also had a card under his sleeve. We know that the follow-up, Punk was looking for Rollins, nowhere to be found. Becky and him have a one-on-one on the mic. Becky smacks him around, and smacks him around, knowing that Punk won't do anything because she's a female, but Punk told her, you're going to regret that you did that. We forward to Chicago and on SmackDown. We know that the internet went crazy because who is CM Punk gonna come out with to help him out against Becky and Seth? Here's the thing. There was rumors about Bayley. There was rumors about Rhea Ripley. But as soon as CM Punk was on SmackDown and confronted Becky and Seth Rollins, CM Punk told Becky straight up, like, I can get Bayley, I can get Rhea Ripley, I can get my sister that's sitting right there to, beat you up. As soon as he name dropped all those girls, I already knew the moment right there who he was talking about. He gets out the ring, obviously, Becky smacks him and slaps him again. He gets off the ring, and Punk says he brings backup. And who's his backup? After 10 years of being away from WWE, his backup is his wife, AJ Lee. Yes, AJ Lee is back with WWE. To even think of the fact that AJ Lee in 2025 will be back in the WWE ring. By the way, she looks absolutely great. She's in great shape. She has more abs than the average human being. And she looks fantastic. She looks like she's been preparing herself for this moment. And I personally thought that this was never going to happen. AJ Lee coming back. The same thing that said with CM Punk. We never thought CM Punk would come back. AJ Lee, when the moment her music hit, man, did that stadium erupted. I mean, it doesn't compare to CM Punk Survivor Series 2023, but that stadium alone went bonkers, like they say, when AJ Lee came out. And I'm just like, you see the reaction of Becky and Seth. By the way, great job on selling that reaction. They're just like, AJ Lee coming back to WWE, it's just refreshing. The reason why I say refreshing is because when I think of AJ Lee, she left the company, back in 2015 after WrestleMania 31, the Raw after she left. We know during that time, Punk had issues with Vince and the company because, Punk got fired the day of his wedding with AJ Lee. AJ Lee sticked around a year after she was married to CM Punk. And we never thought that she would come back. But Triple H always said, I'm going to do what's best for business. He put his differences aside with CM Punk. They, not saying they're like the greatest friends ever, but obviously they see eye to eye when it comes to creative and stuff like that. AJ Lee coming back, she was open with open arms. You saw Triple H when they did the whole contract signing. Well, AJ Lee coming back, let me go back to the scenario with her coming back. She comes back. She attacks Becky. Seth comes down because Seth was on the sky deck over there. Comes down trying to save Becky, and AJ Lee. The fact that she's back, I'm just still trying to process it. And the fact that I was there, I'm so happy I was there. I'm so happy I actually made the decision to go to SmackDown because I was debating should I go, should I not. And something in my gut feeling told me, you need to buy this ticket and you need to go to this event. And I did. AJ Lee coming back was just great. I don't know how to put it in words. I'm just thinking of all the matches that she's going to have. Obviously, Becky is the first one. But I'm just thinking of Becky, Bayley, Rhea, Naomi when she comes back from, when she comes back after having her baby. She can run it back. She can run it with her. Stephanie Vaquer. We got Roxanne Perez, who was a fan of AJ Lee when she was growing, when she was trying to get in the business. Liv Morgan when she comes back from injury. Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss. I'm just thinking of all the names. There's so many talent right now, and as far as female wrestlers go, that can have a match with AJ Lee. Saraya, Sasha, Toni Storm, if they ever do sign back with WWE, imagine the possibilities. The possibilities are endless. Hey, run it back with Nikki Bella. I don't care what anybody says. Her and Nikki Bella running it back would be great too. Man, it's just like Tiffany Stratton, another one. Io Sky. There's so much names that I'm name dropping right now that AJ Lee will fit right now with all these great matches. And the women division in WWE slash NXT, even the girls in NXT. Just think about all the girls in NXT that she can have the match with. It's just amazing. AJ Lee came back at the right time, at the right place right now, because female wrestling is red hot. It's never been better, and I think AJ Lee coming back, it was great. It's just like, what bothers a lot of people, it's just the surprise was very obvious. But I'm happy that she came back to SmackDown at the Rosemont Arena and Allstate Arena instead of WrestlePalooza, because I feel like the pop would have been the same, but it would have been as crazy as it was today. Because I know if it would have been Bayley, it would have been Rhea, it would have not been the same. It would have not been the same reaction from fans. Fans would even booed both of them, knowing that Bayley and Rhea are fan favorites. It would have been Nikki Bella. Trust me, that arena would have been bonkers. Nikki Bella would have got booed. The boos would have been so loud. I probably would even see wrestling fans walk out of the arena. That's how bad it would have been if it would have been Nikki Bella. No offense to Nikki Bella, but it would have been that bad. Yeah, AJ Lee coming back is great. Her holding the Intercontinental title for women, the Women's Intercontinental title, looks great on her, by the way. I want to see AJ win that belt. I want to see her win the women's belt, the women's world title belt, the other women's belt, even the women's United States belt. Yeah, I want to see AJ Lee accomplish all that. I don't know how long her contract is. They haven't really revealed how long AJ Lee's contract will be with WWE. But I know for a fact that AJ Lee is going to be there for a while. Because I know for a fact they try to sign CM Punk for 5 more years. But CM Punk publicly said we don't know how long his body's going to hold. If his body can hold for 5 more years. Because, due to the injuries in the past. And the thing is, we know AJ also left not only due to the situation with CM Punk and that he had with Vince in the company. She left because she also had spinal issues. So I'm pretty sure she got that checked up and they give her the green light that, you're good to go. But AJ Lee coming back is just amazing. Amazing. I'm running out of things to say because, I'm so happy that she's back. And yeah. But I'm excited for the possible matches that she will have with all these females. And yeah. What do you guys thought? What's your guys' take on AJ Lee coming back? Are you guys excited? Are you guys happy about it? Who should John Cena face besides Brock Lesnar in his last 7 dates? I wish he would have faced Edge. Edge is with the AEW as Adam Copeland. That would have been awesome having him and Edge go one more time. But, sometimes as pro wrestling fans, we don't get what we want. So we got to improvise on other things. But yeah. Alright, to finish off this video, let's talk about week 1 of the NFL. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. I know a lot of you guys missed that song. Thursday Night Football. Eagles versus Cowboys. The reigning defending Super Bowl champions. Eagles versus the Cowboys. Eagles won that game 24-20. I'm not surprised the Eagles won, but I'm surprised the Eagles won that close. So this is just week 1. I'm just going to go over a rundown. Friday football games. Chiefs versus the Chargers. Chiefs, obviously lost the Super Bowl last year to the Eagles. They're, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs lost to Justin Herbert and the Chargers. They lost 27-21, another very close game. I didn't see these games, so just going over them. Chargers, I'm going to talk a little bit about this game, because a lot of people are shocked that Chargers just won. I'm definitely not charged. I'm definitely not shocked the Chargers won, because I've been saying this for a long time. The Chargers are a team that are coming up slowly but surely. Jim Harbaugh as their head coach. Justin Herbert Justin Herbert, this is the season where he's going to have to prove that he is who he is, elite. And Chargers are always right there with the Chiefs in that division. So I'm not shocked that the Chargers won. I'm not shocked. Cardinals versus Saints. Cardinals won 20-13. Dolphins versus Colts. The Colts beat the Dolphins by a lot, 33-8. Raiders versus Patriots. Raiders won 20-13. Steelers versus Jets. I actually watched the highlights of this game. Steelers, they have Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback. The Jets have Justin Fields as their quarterback. This game was really good. Really good game, back and forth. But, again, veteran experience played a factor in this game. Rodgers won in the fourth quarter, and Rodgers is not the first time that he beats Justin Fields. We know Rodgers when he was a Packer and when Justin Fields was a Bear. Aaron Rodgers is undefeated against Justin Fields. He beat him again, but I feel like the Jets look promising. They look like Justin Fields is going to do pretty good in the Jets. I'm happy that this guy is getting a starting role because he didn't get a starting role with the Steelers. Russell Wilson kind of like took over, and then Russell's not playing with the Giants. But Aaron Rodgers looked pretty good. He looked pretty good in the Steeler uniform. He played really good. He looked like the old Aaron Rodgers. Again, this is just week 1. Everything is brand new right now, so we don't know what's going to go on moving forward. But yeah, good win for the Steelers. And yeah, Giants, Commanders. The Commander, Jaden Daniel was this close to going to the Super Bowl last year. They win 21-6 against the Giants. Giants have Russell Wilson as their quarterback now. Not surprised that the Commanders won this game. Again, the Commanders are like the second best team in their division, if we're being honest. And Cowboys, the third. The next game, Panthers-Jaguars. The Jaguars won 26-10. Bengals versus Browns. The Bengals won 17-16. The Bengals get that kind of like criticism. They always start off slow, but they won. Yes, they won by 1 point. But a win is a win. Joe Burrow, now that he has Jamar Chase, T. Higgins for years, they got they've done a great job re-signing the defense. I'm trying to think of the guy that plays defense. They re-signed him for a year. But the Bengals did a lot of improvements as far as signing the players for long term, which is great. That's great for Joe Burrow. That's great for the Cincinnati Bengals. Buccaneers beat the Falcons 23-20. The 49ers beat the Seahawks, division rivals, 17-13. The Niners also did a lot of good moves offseason. Re-signed Brock Purdy for a big contract for 5 years. Re-signed Fred Warner for a big contract. Re-signed George Kittle he's going to retire as a Niner. Congrats to him. Those guys, all 3 of those guys deserve to get that bag, that money, and that's going to help that franchise a lot. Obviously, they lost Deebo Samuels to the Commanders. But, sometimes you win some, you lose some, and yeah. The Seahawks also made a lot of big changes. They got the quarterback that played for the Vikings. I'm trying to think of his name. Oh, there you go. Sam Darnold. They got Sam Darnold. They got Cooper Kupp. The Seahawks also made a couple of moves, too. They made a couple of moves. They lost Geno Smith to the Raiders. They lost a couple of players, but Lockett, they lost Metcalf who plays for the Steelers. So they lost a couple players, but the Seahawks did some impressive moves in the offseason. That division is going to be a little tough. I think it's going to be I still think the Rams are the favorites to win the division. But then again, the moves that the Niners and the Seahawks did at the offseason will play a factor too. So we don't know. Let's go back. What's the next game? Broncos, Titans. Broncos won 20-12. Broncos, Bo Nix doing pretty good. As far as they re-signed their number 1 wide receiver, I can't think of the top of the name. What's his name is? Let me search right now. Corland. They re-signed Corland Shutter. So that's a good thing they re-signed him. Oh yeah, the Broncos are like the Chargers. They're gonna give the Chiefs issues in the division, I think. And I also think the Raiders maybe. It all depends on how they do moving forward, because it's just week 1. Everybody was expecting the Raiders to beat the Patriots. So yeah, Packers, Lions. This game was very important for the North. Packers beat the Lions 27-13. Packers have made a lot of decisions outside of the offseason. They lost Jerry Alexander, which it was a big loss. He went to the Baltimore Ravens. At the same time, it was something that was bound to happen. But the Packers also lost Kenny Clark, a veteran on that team. But guess who they got? They got Micah Parsons, the best defensive player. They got him from the Cowboys. Cowboys traded Micah Parsons. I never thought the Cowboys would do that, because I thought the Cowboys were going to negotiate with Micah Parsons and they were going to give him a contract. They didn't do that. The Packers said, "You don't want him, we want him. We'll pay him." And they paid him. And they gave up 2 first-round picks, which by the way, that's not going to affect the Packers one bit because the Packers normally are always going to the playoffs, and the round picks are going to be late. The first round picks are going to be later in that round, so it doesn't really affect the Packers. But they gave them the round pick, the first round pick of 2026 and 2027. The Packers won this game. Micah Parsons looked great. Like he rushed Jared Goff. The Lions did not expect that. The Lions did lose their offensive coordinator, Benson Johnson. He's now the head coach of the Bears. We don't know how the Lions are gonna. Lions were probably the favorites to win the North this year again. But the Packers making that move to Micah Parsons, signing him, it makes the Packers look really good defensively. They got Rashad Gary, they got McKinney, they got a lot of good players on defense. I think the Packers are doing great decisions as far as defense. Obviously Jordan Love as their quarterback, the pieces that he has, Jared Reed, and even though they got Christian Watson and ER, they got Josh Jacobs as the running back. So the Packers are doing great as far as moves outside of the offseason. And I feel like the Packers were probably going to take the North. We don't know how today the Bears and the Vikings play, so we don't know how that game's going to unfold. But I think the Packers beating the Lions, making that statement, letting them people know that we are taking the North by beating the Lions, the division, the team that won last year, the division, the team that beat them twice. The Packers are here to rewrite what happened last year. And I think they're on the right track right now. Texans versus Rams. The Rams won 14-9. I'm guessing this game wasn't a lot of scoring going on. Yes, we know that the Rams lost Cooper Kupp, but they got Devontae Adams. They still got Puka Nacua, those two guys working together. Adams and Nacua are going to look great. Matthew Stafford, when he's healthy, he is elite as they come. So this team is the favorite to win the NFC West. I'm not surprised that, the Rams won against Texans. Well, actually I am because, CJ Stroud, he's a stud. But this is an important game for them to win. Bills, Ravens. This is a game that I actually watched. I didn't watch the game, but I watched the highlights. This was a good game. This game felt like an AFC championship game. And Lamar Jackson versus Josh Allen. These two guys, obviously, we know the obstacle has been Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs for the longest. But I feel like Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, I won't be surprised if any of these teams either the Bills or the Ravens make it to the Super Bowl. I won't be surprised. Because I feel like this game was absolutely great. It looked like the Ravens were going to take this game. They were winning this game by 2 touchdowns. They had a big scoring lead. The Bills came out in this game. They put it all on the line, and there's something that clicked about the Bills, Josh Allen and the Bills Mafia. They went in there and they're like, we're not losing our opener in Buffalo. They went in there. They found a way to win. A lot of scoring, but at the same time, this game came up to who's going to make the least mistakes wins the game. The team that makes the more mistakes loses the game, and that's exactly what the Ravens did. The Ravens did a lot of mistakes in this game. The third quarter, the fourth quarter, made a lot of simple mistakes that the Bills turned around and took advantage of it and took the lead and they won this game. But yeah, again, this is just week 1, but that game felt like an AFC championship game. And yeah, what is your take on week 1 of NFL football? Who do you guys have winning, Bears versus Vikings? I feel like that game's a little toss-up right now. They got Caleb Williams as their coach. We'll see how he does with Ben Johnson as his head coach. J.J. McCarthy, they went with him. They traded Sam Darnold, the Vikings. They gave a contract to Aaron Jones. Obviously, they have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison as their running back still. So a lot can happen. I'm not actually shocked that they got rid of Sam Darnold. He had a good first year with the Vikings, and now he's with the Seattle Seahawks. But we'll see what happens. That is my take on today's episode. Thank you guys so much. Yes, I haven't been consistent the last month and a half, but I promise you that I will be consistent moving forward. And if you still here, sticking around, thank you. And if you left, I'll see you soon, because I know you guys will return back, and I'll see you soon. But with that being said, Thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's episode. This is TWT Talks with Tito. This is Tito Medrano, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. You guys stay safe. Thank you.